right, ladies and gentlemen, it is officially our prelim night here at the 2025 Chili Bowl Nationals. If you look around, you can see the building is alive and well. And behind me is my beautiful Dave.com number 31 ride. I'm going to be taking on the Monday night prelim. The rest of my teammates are going to be going later in the week. Literally, we are moments away from technically getting the night underway. First up will be draw, which the draw here at the Chili Bowl is super important. You don't qualify, you only get to hot lap to start your night, and then also we had practice day earlier in the week. But we're going to draw. That's going to line up where we start in the heat race, and then you accumulate points through that heat race. You accumulate points through a qualifier, and then that sets up the A, the B, the C for the prelim, and then that sets up, you know, the soup on Saturday and all the finale stuff. So we're moments away from draw. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna head up there, do that, check out the racetrack, and just feeling really, really good to get my third Chili Bowl Nationals underway. What's up?
Hi, Tanner.
Good to see you, Blake.
31.
Yep.
Tanner 31.
Yep. Let's see what we get. 70. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we just drew in. We drew a 70, which I would say is going to put us in the back half of a heat race, maybe, you know, a 6th through 8th, just depending on how other guys draw. There's over 70 cars on this Monday. I feel like this is the most cars Monday has had, maybe since they started running Monday as a prelim night. I'm not 100% sure on that, but just wanted to come down here and look at the racetrack. You can see it's obviously pretty wet. They have a little extra laps tonight with the Race of Champions, so I'm sure these track prep guys are preparing for that. They know their job. They're very good at it. They've been doing it for years. So we're going to head back to the pit area in a little bit. We'll have the pit meeting, then we'll be climbing in. We get that hot lap session, and then we'll be rolling down the ramp for that crucial heat race. So our prelim night is wide open now. We just hot lapped, which honestly is probably some of the scarier laps of your entire week, just because there's, you know, between 14 and 16 cars out there. So you got to be careful. There's a mix of, you know, you can have fast guys and you can have some of the slower guys in the building. But I felt good after our practice day yesterday, not really getting the laps we were hoping for. That was nice. I felt like I got 4 laps, 2 around other cars, and then, you know, 1 or so kind of by myself where I could really carry some speed into the corner. I need to keep working on just some throttle location. I definitely was able to drive in with speed. I could just continue to maybe have a little more in the center of the corner when the track has that much grip. If you don't have that wheel spin, your car does kind of shove to the right front. It's very easy to get these midgets tight, and then you can't complete the corner. But happy with where the 31's at. We are going to be in heat race number 3 now, starting 6th with our draw. So we're a little early. Hopefully the racetrack isn't necessarily probably going to have 2 lanes, but hopefully it has wide enough to where you could try to go a lane up and not have too much fluff, you know, so you can kind of move around. Starting 6th, we obviously need to pass cars, so if we can get a good start, try to find holes quickly, you know, work towards the top 3. It's only 8 laps, so you got to get moving. But happy with our car. I think those hot laps were you know, fairly good, and that's going to kind of propel us here into an early heat race to try to gain some points. 6th to 4th there in our heat race. Really wish we could have got to 3rd. That would have been a jump of over 10 more points. Got a great first initial start. My game plan worked out, trying to kind of cut between the inside car and the car in front of me, except I'd have to watch it back. We made contact. I felt like I was there, and luckily was able to keep the car fired, kind of bounced, fired back off. Yeah, that was nuts, and that allowed me to keep my position, so I moved up a row, and from there got into 3rd for a second, tried to go around the outside a second, and probably, looking back, if I would have pulled into line a little sooner, maybe just settled down and then looked for a route to attack, but you only have so many laps here. So the urge to get going is like, man, you don't have time to wait around too much, but always kind of a shoulda, coulda, woulda deal there. So made some okay laps, made some laps I would have thrown away, and then made some good ones. Like I said, got really good starts, just needed to capitalize. I think 6th to 3rd was definitely doable. 6th to 2nd would have been tough. There was a couple solid cars on the front row. The track still got a fair amount of grip, so kind of the lower side of the track's the place to be. Actually, as you move up, it takes a minute for your car to stick. With us being a little freer too, having to move, we'll probably snug up moving forward through the night, but we did what we had to do. Like I said, you always want more here. You're never content points-wise, but the heat race, we kept ourselves in it. We gained a few points. We'll see where things shake out for a qualifier. I have a feeling we're going to be really on the bubble of being on the front row in the invert, or just, at the tail end and having to start behind the inverted cars. So the night's moving along. Like I mentioned, we have a tiny bit of extra time because they have the Race of Champions and all of that to run. They just hot lapped and qualified those cars. Now we're about to run qualifiers, which we snuck into the invert. I think we're about 23rd in points, and we're on the pole of qualifier number 3. Now at the position that we're in, it's still the same passing points, scale. So if we can go 1-to-1, we'll get 100 points, and that should lock us into tonight's preliminary A. We're making some adjustments to the car right now, as the track's obviously going to look a lot different with those extra laps. It's really, starting to slicken off. It's a narrow bottom, a little bit of a lip to lean on, but it's wide up by the fence. We're going to watch a couple more laps, couple more races, and then we'll be climbing in. Like I mentioned, we start on the pole, so it's all about here, getting a good start, making a good first lap, and then for me, hopefully, it's green to checkered, so that kind of gives me a chance to, work on my laps, pull away hopefully, and then let the guys behind me kind of duke it out. Maybe that'll put some separation between us and the rest of the field, but about to climb in, try to get 31 in the show. Our qualifier was pretty much over there before it started. Got an okay start from the pole, probably could have been a little better, but took off, was side by side with the car on my outside, went down to stick the bottom into turn 1, and just, I don't know, just wasn't able to stick it. Got to the berm, got tight, and then once that left the door open for the cars behind me, they obviously went to force the issue, and things just did not work out. So yeah, it's kind of one of those situations. It's Chili Bowl. If you give an inch, like, they're going to take the car. So definitely wish I wouldn't have made that mistake going down there. It tore up the front axle, the drag link, a few other things in the front end, so the team's just getting it repaired quickly so we could turn around for the B main. So we're getting ready to head out for the B main event right now. Got the front axle change, got the, I guess would be the drag link, change the left front wheel, and now we're going to be starting 12th in the B main event. Just got to pull a tear off from that qualifier. It's really unfortunate. Things changed really quickly from obviously having a little bit of clean track to not getting through the first lap, but now we're going to have a lot of cars in front of us, and really just have to go where guys aren't. So we're in the second B. They ran the Race of Champions. They're about to run the first B. Track's kind of starting to widen back out again. There's definitely some grip, but it seems like it was dirty for a little bit. Now it's cleaning off and slowing down again. So we'll use that to our advantage, and like I said, just go where guys aren't. got the helmet hair. Unfortunately, we did not make it through the B main there. We passed, I think we went forward 4 positions. I think unofficially I finished 8th is what those guys said. Not happy with that, not content obviously either. Just sucks we didn't get these guys in the show tonight. That was the goal. I felt like the longer we got into the night, the more laps I got. I made some of my better ones there in the B. My car felt good. It's tough not having a wing. I was trying to reach up. These cars have shock adjusters, and there's a lot. Like, you can adjust, rebound in each corner. You have right rear rebound compression. You got all sorts of stuff. Some cars you can adjust the Jacob's ladder, and there's a lot, more than just a wing valve. And so I was trying to reach up under green and try to get me some more forward. I was good earlier when they'd thrown a little water on the track. They just sprinkled it, and it was in there for a couple laps. And then once that burned off, I just started getting really free. And you got to be careful. It's a fine line. You can be a little free and be with it, and once you get against it, you can bike up. So I ran the top okay. The bottom, I need some work. I just haven't figured out after that qualifier mistake and trying to figure out how to run the bottom and how to fix some of my not bring some of my wing habits of using the brake and stuff. And so I tried to kind of do the opposite of what I did there in the qualifier. That messed me up, and it just never really worked. I just kept missing the bottom, carrying too much speed or for whatever reason gliding through it. So disappointed, like I said, we didn't get these guys in the show, but we'll watch the A main event tonight, and unfortunately that's how the Chili Bowl can go. Well, night number 1 of the week is done. You can see them working on the track surface behind me. What a show it was. Man, I will say, and just so, whether you like him or not, so much respect to Kyle Larson. Like, watching him tonight, you could have counted him out probably early on in the race, midway through the race, and he still pulled it out of his hat to win the Monday night prelim. Felt bad for Shane Golobic. Shane's one of our West Coast guys, and he has been so close to winning a prelim night here, and was so close again tonight, but still locked in. Racetrack was in tip-top shape. The top was definitely really good most of the evening. The bottom had grip at times. It's just hard to hit. You got to be really patient, and your car's also got to be set up to go down there. And as I walked down the ramp, of course, feeling disappointed that we didn't make the prelim A. I think we're going to be in an F main come Saturday. It's just so tough doing this midget deal once a year. I need more seat time, need a little more time racing around other cars, but just, to get the feel of, throttle points and where to get the car bent and when to use the brake and how to drive it like it's its own car instead of using some of my habits from the Outlaw kart and from the wing sprint car. And during tonight at points, I did make some good laps, but also made some mistakes or, wasn't able to carry enough momentum. Like, you could really break down and analyze. It's tough inside this building, and then one little mistake like the qualifier, yes, did a car really shove it in underneath us, and like maybe that could have been avoided, but at the same time, if I would have got through corner entry a little better, I wouldn't even had to worry about that. Could have maybe got out front. But yeah, so it just sucks. One little mistake like that, or one little incident, all of a sudden flipped us from, maybe after that qualifier where we would have been front of the B, maybe locked into the A, to all of a sudden we're trying to fight from the back of a B, which is obviously a taller task. But yeah, you can see they're tilling up the racetrack now, working on both ends. But I do want to give a big shout out to Kyle Beilman and his entire team. They've treated me very well. They allowed me to drive their race car, and like I mentioned, I don't have a lot of midget experience. They got great equipment, and it is a little different package than what I drove before when I was running with CB Industries, so I think that was some of it. Yes, it's a midget, and I ran a midget before, but you have to adapt in different ways. This is an SR11. What I was running before is Toyotas, and it's significant. Like, it drives differently, and you can feel it in the car. But yeah, they worked hard all night just to keep trying to tune me in, and it's not easy for them as well. Like, I've worked with, when you're working with a driver that's more on the rookie side, he's not exactly sure what he wants to feel, and you might set up a car differently for someone that's figuring out or testing the waters, or doesn't drive as hard or drives harder. Like, all that, it's not necessarily just one setup fits all. So anyway, like I said, we're all just giving it 100% effort, and I really appreciate those guys putting in a lot of hard work. But yeah, that's our prelim night at the 2025 Chili Bowl. Like I said, wish it would have went better, but that's how it can go inside this building, and we'll just take everything from tonight and get into the alphabet soup on Saturday and try to make a little bit of a run. And usually how it goes is you go through the week and you feel better every time you hit the track, and then by the time you feel good, the week's over. But anyway, we're looking ahead towards Saturday, and we're going to watch the rest of the week. Definitely enjoy our time here in Tulsa and see who locks in and where everyone's sitting going into the finale. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. We'll see you there. Deuces.